Did anyone know that there's a new Silent Hill movie out? That they were making one? That they were making one and it came out? Because I didn't. Here's the thing: is that I did not. And when I heard about it, what I heard was that it was bad. the first that and like it's one thing when that happens for a movie that has like no brand recognition, when it's like an original movie just coming out of the woodworks, and like they're just putting this standalone movie out there in the hopes that it'll people will like it and will make some cash, right? That's one thing. But this was Silent Hill, like, 2 a movie, loosely, and it was still I still knew nothing about it, and it was bad apparently. And then also that example I just used also happened on the same day with a Chris Pratt movie, fucking just where it has an original, quote unquote original concept, fucking, and apparently is also very bad. So that's very funny. Sometimes it's fun because like I'm usually such a fan of like when a good piece of media comes out and everyone's like really into it and everyone's very excited for it, right? I am a big fan of that. It is somewhat also very entertaining when one or two pieces of media come out back to back that no one had any stakes in, and those are also very bad. They're like bad to get, and everyone can just kind of take turns being very rude to them because everyone is just kind of in the agreement of like, oh, these are awful. so so that's a little fun thing to hear about. I'm gonna start Mince Raft. Look at that. Look at that. It's a game. It's a game. Oh wait, no. It's been a minute. Alright, let's be pressing buttons. Ah. Alright. Nothing had loaded in, so it was just raining on me. So yeah, I did some stuff. I've largely finished the hall here in terms of different construction elements, right? Some of the big things you might know, we got a carpet going. We have these fireplaces for warmth and light. And also, I've added chimneys that extend all the way up to the surface and have metal grates in them to stop something nasty from coming through. So we got that. Got the bed over here. Got that there. And yeah. Pretty fun. I think I've done a pretty good job at sectioning off the fire while also not necessarily rendering it, like inert. You still get plenty of light from it. Yada yada yada. Trying to think. Is this the map? This is the map. So because here's the thing, but with the maps is that the space that once was like storage and what have you, it's now our map room. We now got maps up here. So one thing I was thinking about doing was we make a new, I don't think I have a new map. No, I do not. We make a new locator map, and then we head south in order to get some like wool and shit for the carpets. There's like a good bit of sheep back that way. I'm trying to think. Where did I put my precious materials? Here we are. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh wait, I just need 4. I'm bad at math. I do also need... I probably, like... I might have died once or twice. I think maybe just once. Setting all this up. There... We did have a pillager attack. Yeah? Yeah, game? Lord, and I wonder why I hadn't streamed this more. That's it. Do I have to start, like, poking my little head out every time I go out my door? Not even for, like, you know... Not even necessarily for your typical reasons, just solely... Well, I was gonna say that would be a typical reason. But it's very paranoid. I think it's kind of my larger problem. Is that that's a wildly paranoid way to live. And I'd prefer not to do that. But, fuck, I mean... Not giving me much of a choice there, are ya? Also, yeah, there's like some caves around here. We're gonna get like a whole proper mine going at one point. How do I... You can rename maps, can't you? I thought you could. Mayhaps not. I don't like that's map number 8. I definitely don't. I don't see it that way. Also, does Bad Omen specifically like fucking yeah? You're gonna get blown up randomly from now on. Just an FYI. I hear a bat. I don't know if that, like, spawned into here because I'm bad at my job or what, but... Right now I'm gonna focus on repairing the fucking hole in my yard. That was nuts. Not good nuts, bad nuts. I don't even have... I don't even got enough sand. I don't even want this. I do want that. I want the ink sacks. I'm sure ink sacks have their use, but with all these squids beaching themselves on my lawn, I got more than anyone could ever need. Hello? More monsters. This junk's ridiculous. Yeah. I hope everyone out there is doing good. Whether you're watching live or watching a VOD. Gonna be honest. Had a pretty rough week. All things considered. Like, it's Monday, so I'm talking about last week. Kind of. I'd say kind of during when I was streaming, and then also afterwards. Like, towards the tail end of last week's stream. Wasn't doing too great. And I can't say I can't really speak to this week too much, because so far us here in Jersey are dealing with what is being called a generational snowstorm. And you know, you might think that after having a crappy week I'd want to stay out of work, which to some degree is definitely more my something I would be interested in. But if I'm being frank, I kind of just wanted to go into work specifically so that way I didn't have to, like, even worry. I didn't have to worry about anything, you know, about my boss being like, oh, you know, you get what I'm saying. and want there to be extra paperwork or extra whatever, but I went out to the car today, and fucking lo and behold, I literally put the pedal to the metal, only for the car to get absolutely zero traction. I want to make sure. Yeah, okay. Let's head back and expand this a bit. We got exactly 2 wool. But, I mean, honestly, if we're gonna be trekking great distances for, in part, just to see what's out there, I prefer the map to be expanded. Also, I forget if this is like the latest Minecraft update since I started streaming it, but they put out a new update, specifically where they redid the baby versions of all the different animals. And, like, it is good, but eh. I always feel like there's like a fugly element to just Minecraft in general, and like super cutifying all the baby animals sorta takes that away. Not to be like a purist or anything, it's definitely not like the biggest change they've made. I'm just saying. There, like when they added bees, which I think is in this version. I believe we've seen a few bees. They added bees. It was like, oh fuck, that thing rules. They were very cute, but like wholly revising some extant mobs to be more aesthetically pleasing. I'm not like the most. That doesn't have me being like, I gotta boot up Minecraft again. I'm booting up Minecraft because of old save file. Okay. Any luck? One more. Oh wait. Okay. We're gonna head towards the end of the map again before we use this bad boy, just to make sure. Just to make sure it doesn't accidentally make another one of these, the one I'm currently holding. I'd be uninterested in that. I think we need like 18 locator maps or something like that. I don't know. I just realized the sun's setting. Beans. Oh no, I need to go hunting. I need to go get wool. Then we're gonna... I think he knows I'm here. I don't like that he has an enchanted crossbow. That's my biggest problem with that right now. Why are they in front of my house? And I guess it's not called Bad Omen for nothing. But I just ate... This is insane bad luck. For... I shan't tolerate pillagers on my literal front doorstep. Is it just these two assholes? I think there might be 3. Up, yep. Up, there's 4. Well, I'm headed in for the day. You know, this is one of the good things. I mean, there is a cave around here somewhere, which doesn't make me happy, but this is one of the good things about having a, you know, underground base somewhat secured, because even though they're right outside, they're not going to necessarily get anywhere closer to my bed where I'm chilling, so I'm not too worried. That being said, I said I like being like, I'm not too worried, except I am about to just like, yeah, no, they're still out there. Not great. Also, was there an Enderman like in my house? That's right, there's like a cave or something like above or below. The small crevices above my house. I don't think they know how to move from there, so I think I'm just gonna go. I'd love it if I could have more arrows, but like one, I'd have to head back into my house. Like there's some gravel right there, but I've dug some. I'm not about to be like, oh yeah, just to dig up that gravel, because I've dug up some decently large things of gravel to seemingly no avail in terms of getting more flint for arrows. So, bit of an issue there. Oh my goodness. Also, how long does that bad omen thing last? I do still have the banner that one of them dropped. Do I gotta like full on burn it? Do I gotta wholly destroy it, body and soul? Raid! Man. There's no... I just need to... I'm just gonna need... I'll do what I can. Where the fuck is the... bell? Also, where's the raid? It's very into... Up. See, you gotta be kidding me with that. Am I gonna get anything good when I... Bro, stop taking hostages. Of course they didn't drop any arrows. That'd be too easy. I would love it if this steel golem over here helped me out. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Bro. Get your ass in gear. Start... Bro. I'm the one trying to help your village. This is a wild thing to be happening for many reasons. Oh, my fucking shield broke. Of course. By a Vindicator. Cool. Cool thing to happen. I mean, I can fucking run back and try and grab my stuff, but one, not wholly confident that raid isn't going to be over. And two, not wholly confident all my stuff is going to be there. I mean, I only have like minimal stuff, but still. That sucks for a lot of reasons. I think the game hates me. I saw a thing about like Minecraft getting like a little more difficult depending on certain things. Also, it might have been the case that like me just walking into the village with a bad omen on me was like, that's the start of the raid. It is. Well, it's not that it's the start of the raid, it's that the raid is still happening. So, let me see if I can. They're hurting the villagers. I would love to help them, but... Oh, great. What the... You gotta be fucking kidding me! Really? Just decided it'd be cool to be in one of the houses? Great, cool, neat. Love that. Like, I'm not gonna kind of cheese all my stuff back like I did with the lava thing. Again, in part because I didn't really have that much to begin with. But this is like horse shit. I mean, I probably should have known about how the raid works, but like, holy shit with that. That sucks so bad for so many reasons. Again, just gonna try and get my stuff back for a minute. See if I can even do that. Is this dude still in here? Or is he... Okay. I got my stuff back, but a lot of good'll do me when all the villagers are dead. You know? Also, does this ever go away? Or is like a permanent fixture of the land? Of course. Motherfucker! I don't know what to do here. I was literally... Like, if I just go to sleep, will it pass and then they're all dead? Because I was like, I couldn't do anything. Goodness. Like, I could try, like, you know. I could go back and make a shield at my base before trying this again. But I would really just like my shit back before I do any other action. So. Big problem for me there. Also, I mean, I mean, not talk about, like, changing the aesthetics and then go... Yeah. You... I just got here. Please. Motherfucker! My lord! Fine, I'll give what I just said a shot. This is just one iron for the shield, right? I don't know if I even have... I don't think I even have any wood. It's about to be nighttime, so this is really cool. You know, whatever. I'm just gonna go to sleep, and then hopefully they'll be gone. I don't know if that's how it works. So hi, gamer. Sorry you seem to have caught me decent. You can see why. I don't know if you've ever dealt with this playing Minecraft, gamer, if you're big into Minecraft. This will make me switch to Hightail real quick. Like, sweet Lord in heaven. I also love... Once in like 2012. That was a while ago. I also love how, like, there was like a not too long ago interview with one of the current Minecraft devs, which people kind of point it to as like they do not like that the creeper is in the game, but they cannot get rid of it for, you know, reasons. And he was like, yeah, we don't really like things that like troll the players, yada yada da. And meanwhile, like, this is here. Like, I just went to sleep. It's still here. So that's not getting rid of it. Fucking... What do I do? I need my shit back. And these guys are just gonna fucking kill me. Can I... Okay, well, there's one of them. I just need to... I need to peace out in general. So I've never seen a Vindicator before. You can probably guess how I feel about them. Oh wait, is that all the Vindicators? Hi. This is not a rewarding experience. Also, after this, doesn't it bring out, like, the fucking raid beast?
Yippers!
Hi, pig. Nice. Nice, pig. Great, cool. I'm going. Because the Iron Golem can't be bothered to help. I don't have a shield. I'm definitely just going to die to the same shit again. Does it ever end in terms of, like, they've destroyed enough shit, they'll go home now? Or is it always the same shit? Well, they're up there. Up there. I'm not doing this. I don't even have arrows. Can I lead you away from the villagers by any chance? Oh. I gotta... Into the river! This is working, kind of. Question mark, kind of. Well, that works. Okay, I do have my flint and steel. Flint and steel. Wait! I have an idea! Okay, he didn't even get to load his shit. I would love some fish. Nope, there they go. I don't have a bucket on me, do I? Also, welcome, Pig. Thank you for the 69 months. I don't know if I said anything about that or if I just yes-and it your bit. That's friendship. Where the fuck? Okay. There's more of them. Where'd the big thing go? Raid Beast. Oh, Raid Shadow Legends. I would honestly be happy. Just being able to, like, you know. Help! A witch! But which is which? Okay, follow me, big boy. Hey, Iron Golem. Get him. At least there's that. Okay, Iron Golem. Yeah, I know. You're not doing too hot. 2. Run for your life! Any luck. He'll be able to get at least one of these guys. Okay. And the witch. Hey, look at me. Oh, nope, you missed. We're not doing this. I actively refuse. How do I stop this? Holy shit! I'm just gonna go make some iron golems of my own. I unironically think the best way to solve this would just be to go make some iron golems. You know, replace the one I destroyed. While, trying to solve this. Gonna need a lot of iron. This is not good. I know. Shocking revelation. I just wanted to build a map. This is such horseshit. This is such dookie when you realize all I wanted to do was fill out maps. That's all I wanted to do. This is just like real life, unironically. I want to do like a hobby. Bring out a parrot, you got it, Sabs. Give me a second. This is just like real life. I want to do like a hobby or something that brings me joy, you know, etc., etc. And then like the moment I poke my head out of my little hole, it's just like, oh, the army's approaching, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I just wanted to make some some fun little maps. At what point did I ever decide, like, yeah, sure, the army. Okay. At least this way. Shield. My mouse is giving up on me. I need 9. What's 9 times 9? Too much is the answer. I'm about to... Like, I imagine 2 iron golems could probably do this, right? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I need 1 more iron block to make 1 iron golem. At which point, like, maybe. This is going fast. I just need shears to make a jack-o'-lantern, right? Because I know we got pumpkins nearby. That part's not too hard. Y'all like watching paint dry? Also, let me get that parrot for Sabs. Also, hi Sabs. I hope you're doing well. We'll say this doesn't fill me with like confidence for like tomorrow, when I probably will be going into work. Because that stream is going this way. Who knows? We'll see. 1, 2, 3. Okay. There should be enough. Also, you know what? Where are my buckets? Yeah. Get a bucket. Get a bucket, because honestly, at this point, I'm not even as concerned about the village surviving. I've kind of... How many waves are there? This is 4. It's already taken too much of my time and mental health. Arguably, it would be better for me to have 2 buckets of lava, so I could at least, like, pincer maneuver that shit, but I don't think we're gonna get that. Shears. Pumpkins were up towards the base of the mountain, I remember. Y'all seen pumpkin? Alright. I just wanted to make a fucking map. This is such horse dookie. When did they start signing up map makers for war? Oh, since forever? That's literally always how war has worked. Okay. Hey villagers, I'm gonna be so honest with you, I don't think your houses are gonna survive this attack. There we go. Oh, fuck. Where the fuck? Golem! Do it something! He said, do I really do things? Like, yes you do! They are too smart for their own fucking good. Thank goodness. You get both of them? Why are there so many fucking... Higgle. I have to run. No! Swim! Swim! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness with this. Well, I do have my bucket now. If nothing else. Can be I don't know how my golem's doing, but going to be honest, can really only be so concerned. The fucking witches going around the magma upset me. Yo, my golem's holding it down. Hey, that's a fucking totem of survival. I just realized what I just did. I'm an idiot. I killed that guy though. Oh, the like main village's golem is gone, right? He would have to be. Where the fuck? Oh. Dude. Golem! Golem, help! Thank you. Now, where's the other guy? Oh, is this burning this house down? It's not. That's kind of shocking. Where's the other? Where's the last one? He's gonna like come out of fucking nowhere and be like, oh! Okay, well that sucked. I died like fucking 5 times. For no reason. I wouldn't set off that many fireworks, dude. Also, I'm just gonna like... I'm gonna give you 1 obsidian block right here. And take this. You don't... Y'all don't need, just random shit in the middle of your village. I recognize that. Hey, Golem. Oh, wrong button. Honestly, if you want to just, like, retire here, I'm okay with that. I mostly just needed your help with that specific attack, so... I don't know if I can, like, feed you iron to get you feeling better. I apologize for that. Yeah, I don't think I've ever done a raid before in Minecraft. Largely because I don't really play Minecraft for raids. And this stream is sponsored. No, it's not. I want to quit my job, but if I wanted to scam people, I would just start stealing. Alright, well. I'm just gonna go back to my base and, you know, fucking organize shit. Also, some villagers, like, definitely died. There's villagers and everything still around, but that was not a 100% success rate kind of deal. Now, so we're gonna need like a loom, because I'm pretty sure I can just craft these to be like, you know, not evil. So use some dyes, changes of design. Also, I know for a fact I spotted like a pillager tower at one point, exploring in an earlier stream. So, Lord, I started. Oh right, I didn't even mention this, right? Because like, you know, crappy week, and then like historic snowfall this weekend, which not necessarily. I like the snow, but not necessarily appreciated. But then, like, so yesterday I was basically just lying face down, waiting for the snow, on top of other things, you know. And, fucking, today, well, no, yesterday was Sunday, so that was all me just dealing with snow shit. But then, like, today, went out, realized I couldn't get into my, like, out of the driveway, went, damn it, and then, you know, came in, started doing some stuff, went back out to try and chip away at shoveling, yada yada yada, all that stuff. And then I'm like, you know what if I play some games all night with my friends, you know? Like, I'm not really feeling like all that in a bag of chips right now, so why don't I try and hang out with my good friends who I love? That might cheer me up, you know. That was my thought process. So I try to get on Steam. Guess what? Apparently, none of my Steam, like, something happened. Because my Steam games were just like, no. And then, I was like, okay, I'll uninstall and reinstall. They weren't reinstalling. And I was like, that's not good. So, like, I start asking people, you know, like, hey, does anyone know what this is? Yada yada, can help fixing some stuff. And largely, I would say, people who I have immediate contact with said, that specifically, they said, no, like, oh, good. So, you know, bearing that in mind, I had to keep figuring things out. Because, like, I didn't get this PC to play games on. I got it because I wanted a good PC for doing all my projects, some of which, seeing as that I stream, do include games from time to time. I forget where do I not have a place for wood? Well, actually, I guess... I'll just put it here for now. And then... where did I put the other... I think the other stuff is upstairs. Yeah. But, like, if I own a PC that can't run Steam, one, it's disconcerting, because why can't it run Steam? No one can seem to parse that. Uh-oh. And then, you know, like, I wanted to play games. So I spent, on top of hours spent literally chiseling at ice, which I guarantee you, no one will care. No, I will talk to people about that. They'll be like, no, you still didn't go into work, so that'll be fun. But, on top of that, I spent hours just trying to get my PC in functioning order again. So, good times. Good times. Had by all, really. Organizing. This is a little organized. And now I want to sleep. Not in real life quite yet, but... we'll sleep. I love how you can see me getting killed, like, upwards of 3 times. Only to then... essentially craft a gun and a soldier and say, go get him. Go do it. But yeah, I did get Steam back, so I started playing Blueprints, which I was planning to do, in a general sense. And what about Blueprints? What was that about? A Blueprints? All right, that was you know, very calm game. Like. This is very nice, very calming. Am I gonna have to worry about, like, Minecraft being too sleepy for me? Apparently not. Apparently I was in for such a rude awakening coming back in Minecraft. An unwelcome rude awakening, I would say. Because genuinely, I would have preferred just being able to make maps and explore. We probably would have found plenty of mobs to fight. It's not like that was something we were, like, going to be running short on. Gracious. Goodness gracious. So yeah. So I'm just... tomorrow is Tuesday. I'm honestly just mostly going to be trying to get through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday without any more surprises IRL. Obviously, Minecraft having surprises for me are is like, well, that's how you make content for stream, so not that bad. Also, I'm sorry, Mr. Sheep. I am going to kill you. Yeah, specifically for the lamb chops. Partly for the wool, but obviously it'd be more efficient for both of us if I just, like, just sheared ya. But I do need food. E. 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 Man, fucking... Not to be, like, topical gamer stuff. I'm pretty sure, like... Ubisoft and EA are both, like, straight up going under in their own unique ways. I think EA got sold off to, like, a prince somewhere, which is... from not great. So, there's... Even if the entity still exists in the somewhat distant future, not so near future, I'll just miss making silly jokes about them being generally bad companies, as opposed to, like, straight up scams. Like, illegal, like... Not good things. Okay, Ubisoft still exists. They're doing a pyramid scheme. They were bought out by a guy in a van for $5. Somewhere in time and space. Yeah, sure. Is that fucking, like... That's not Star Trek. I've never seen Star Trek. I'm gonna be real. I don't want to watch Star Trek for the same reason that I just headcanon Middle Earth is not Earth. MS. Gotcha. Mystery Science Theater 3000. I haven't seen anything for that either. Yeah, I don't want to watch Star Trek for the same reason I ignore Tolkien trying to tie Middle Earth into, like, Earth. Because I don't want to have to think about, like, Earth's actual fucked up history tying into, like, the fantastical history of this fictional world. You know what I mean? Not to say that Star Trek and Lord of the Rings don't get into some heavy subjects. But real life is messed up. In a way, I think those series are perfectly happy not touching on. And they're valid in doing so. It is... But it is for that reason why I don't want to, like, blend the two together. You know? Like, for example, even though they're, like, kind of Sabs, like, that I think that's definitely part of it, for sure. Right? Is escapism. But, like, I'm literally resisting, like, I don't want to list specific examples of dark stuff that happens in, you know, in real life. Let me use a slightly tamer example. I don't want to... Also, those are the chimneys. Anyway. I don't want to be watching an episode of, like, Star Trek and them really hammer home how it's this, like, how it's, like, Earth in the future. And then I get done Star Trek and the news comes on and, like, they talk about 18 people killed in a drunk driving accident. You know, I don't want to have the thought that those are the two same... those are two identical timelines. Even though, you know, for the most part, like, boldly going where no one's gone before. I want to go where no one's gone before, Trom. But that's the thing, right? I want to go where no one's gone before. I don't want to be thinking about shitty real Earth. Also, back to Lord of the Rings, I don't want to think that... If you try to earnestly convince me that the same world that had hobbits and the Shire in it also eventually moved on to invent Microslop XL, I'll hurt you. I will do a violence. That's an awful thing you said. You know that's an awful thing you said. I know it's an awful... You're just doing it to hurt. There's no benefit to having Earth and Middle-earth share a history, except to hurt me. I don't... It's not even that... It's not even escapism. It's just that real life can be so stupid. So stupid in a bad way. That putting characters I enjoy and really are invested in on anywhere in proximity to that on a timeline makes me upset. I want any Star Trek fans to look me in the eye and tell me that they're really happy about the idea that the same world that gave rise to Data, the beloved Star Trek character Data, is also currently going through the AI crisis. You're like into that? That you like to think that, you know, that's how it is? I'm not. I'm making that known live on the air. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like big business shit and everything, you know, big shocker, right? Also, I could make these, no, I was gonna say, no, I can put stairs here. That might look nice. I was gonna put doors here, but if I don't, I could have it be an arched way, and then rugs come out all the way here. But yeah. And I can get how that's like a good form of escapism. Right? I can get how people, both authors and audiences, kind of want to mix the real world and their fiction together, in part to help the real life seem more fantastical and try and inspire people to do better. But I was literally about to say, I think my main point is that big businesses ruin everything. Big businesses and shareholders, right? Because, like, they'll be the one to see fictional product on the screen and be like, we can make money off of that, and then they make something crappy. And that makes everyone on Earth sad. You get what I mean? If anything, the reason I don't like it is because the art is up to personal interpretation, right? And some people are bad at interpreting things. And rather than get kind of wholesome messages off of off the screen, they get money-making ideas. and it's not super fun anymore. So, I'm not trying to yuck anyone's yums. If anything, I thought, like, because I know Star Trek as a franchise, even without including real-life history, spans, like, hundreds of years. And that's another thing. I don't want to, like, get really into one show. And then it's like, and then 100 years later, all those characters are dead. So, like, I was like, I might want to try Next Generation. Because I've seen lots of fun stuff from that. And it seems like kind of the quintessential Star Trek to some degree. And my dad was a big fan of it. But I just haven't. I got a lot of things I want to watch. And I don't get around to it. So, and that is definitely somewhat on me. But listen, not every day has us snowed in. And I would say not every day has us snowed in and I have time to watch like a couple episodes of a show. But here's the thing, that's not even true. Because I was snowed in today, and like a good 3 hours was spent chipping at ice with metal shovels. And another a separate 3 hours was spent fucking troubleshooting with Steam. So, like, yes, not every day can be like today, but even today when I didn't go into work, I was unable to watch episodes from shows I had not seen before. So. I'm trying to apply to jobs again, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm in a bit of a. Was that? What the fuck? Did y'all hear that? There's like something in those trees. And I don't like that at all. Do y'all see anything? This is like stuff they can't do with updates. Because the creaking exists. But that's the problem, right? It's not in this version. The lava. I'm not burning to... Like, that's another... Sabs, stop thinking like a business. Stop being like, oh, the trees are causing problem. Time to chop and burn the forest. I'm not destroying the forest because it made a creepy... Forests make creepy noise. It's just that usually that's mostly in real life. It's much less often in Minecraft. Which is my big problem. There's a little bit. But yeah, I'm trying to apply to new jobs. Because my job is not necessarily working out great for me right now. And I'm kind of, full disclosure, in a bit of a sticky money situation. Not anything too bad, but like, just something where, you know, I could use more than like a little over minimum wage. Which I know most companies would be shocked to hear, but... So, you know. I mostly tell y'all that not so that you fucking splooge gifts upon me, but more so that you know that if you sub and we reach those kinds of sub goals, you're not just throwing your money at someone who already has the world. It's helping out. It's helping me out a good amount, so... And I do like to donate anything I can save up to charity when I can. I don't like not having things to save up. That's less fun. on several fronts. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to sub. It's just like if you have like a remotely hiring job, that'd be great. You know, sometimes I wonder, both through like stream and commissions, how much I could make if I had to just start relying on those entirely, right? Commissions are tricky, and I've really just taken up a policy of like not doing commissions at this point, because I always feel like I'm getting in over my head. Like, someone gives me an idea, and I'm like, well, I don't want to charge them too much, so I don't. And then I work a lot on it. And if I'm being honest, could have asked for more money. So, like, I've never liked to do that. Obviously, if it's my only source of income, I'd be like, hey, I need you to pay me like a full-time employee. But yeah. You know what I think it might have been? I was like, the sound I was hearing in the woods. I'm like, I feel like I recognize it, but I can't place it, and it's very creepy. I think it was an Enderman. I think there was an Enderman in the woods that I was not seeing, which is like a good thing. But they were making noises at me. Oh yeah, jobs are tough. What you gonna do, you know? Frankly, I feel like a major reason I haven't, like, super seriously thought about, like, quitting regular job and trying to do streaming and online stuff full-time is not necessarily lack of faith, but it's because I'm like, I think everyone's in the same situation. So I'm not about to be like, hey, you guys, do stuff for me. Give me money. Also, I need arrows. Unless I can, like, sneak in here. Can I sneak in without anyone seeing me? That'd be great. Mr. Pig, what's up? Not my friend Mr. Pig, just a pig. Also, what? Oh, fuck. Holy shit! There's a lot of them. They do off each other with enough doing. Like, they're not very coordinated. I was about to say. I mean, if y'all are just gonna shoot each other, I will take full advantage of that. Okay, well, good news is, those guys are dead. Bad news, I need food, and it is dark outside. You gotta be kidding me. Bro, I already got all your friends. Dude. Are there endless of them here? I'm starting to think so, which is a massive problem. For reasons I'm sure you've guessed. Holy shit. Oh, fuck. I'm out of food. It is dark outside. I found the pillager tower I was talking about. I wish I had not found the pillager tower I was talking about. Why are y'all still following me? Alright, well. We're here for a little bit. And, Alright, I should be letting time pass at least. Hey, can I eat a raw fish is fine. Hello? Yo. Raw beef is less fine. I'll be the first to admit. Also, my armor is... I'm gonna need to make, like, a whole new armor. I wish I'd been able to use at least one of those steel blocks for, you know, a fucking anvil to repair shit on. As opposed to, you know, all just a golem. Which was useful, but it would have been nicer if it hadn't been useful. Yeah. Anyway. So, I hope everyone else's week is going okay. At least starting okay, because it is Monday. Just because my last week got extended a bit, thanks to the snowstorm. Doesn't mean that's how everyone feels. What was I thinking of? Via the, via weeks. January's been rough in a lot of ways. I'm sure I don't need to inform a lot of people. But I did see a post that was, like, talking about, you know, just because the first however long was rough in a year doesn't mean the whole year is, like, done, you know. So I am kind of holding out hope February will in some ways be better. Fingers crossed. It is, I will tell you this much. February this year is like a perfect calendar, and not only is it 28 days, but it's 28 days with, like, the first on a Sunday. So then, like, when you lay it out on a calendar, it's a perfect rectangle. As opposed to, like, the jigsaw pieces you normally get with your typical year. I know there's definitely people who have, like, studied this and can say with more certainty. But, like, if you don't know, the reason we have leap years, this might be a super common fact, but it just, you know, I don't blame anyone for not, I never thought about it this way. The reason we have leap years is because the Earth doesn't make a perfect rotation around the sun every 365 days. We get, like, about a quarter of a day, an extra quarter each year. So then, just to make sure everything's kind of going right, and we aren't wildly off base in 100 years, you have the leap years to add a day, right? What I've thought about is not only reorganizing the months so that they all have equal days that can be better divided than, like, 30, 31, what have you, but also Can we spread that can we give, can we just like smudge the numbers a bit so that way minutes and hours and what have you account for the extra time each year, you know? Because typically, you know, like, sure, we could still have 24-hour days, but maybe 24 hours is just a little bit longer than it was before. So that way, or maybe, oh, okay, this is the other thing, right? Because I just thought about this, because this is the problem I run into. Is it that the Earth doesn't perfectly make a full rotation each time, you know, it's going around the sun? Because I guess in that case there is no account. You can only start doing. You can only just divvy up the months better, then you're gonna have leap years no matter what. Because I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Is it a clock thing, or is it physically the Earth's rotation does not perfectly match up with it orbiting the sun? Speaking of, almost not nighttime anymore. There's this other thing. I like fucking space videos where they do theoreticals that it isn't just like ultimately you died, you know, because obviously it's easy. It's very easy to kill people in space in any scenario, right? You that it's not interesting. I don't care. I don't care the specifics of how someone dies when you do stuff in space. Because the end result is still the same no matter what, right? Like, they are dead. End of story. I like any, like, space theoretical where they're like, alright, we're gonna do this, but also we're gonna make sure everyone doesn't die, or you need this to survive the situation. You know? So slightly related to that, I saw a post like the other day that was about like the Earth having rings and how like just bright the rings would be. Because at the end of the day, the rings are, you know, they're all space dust and stuff, and they would just be like reflecting the sunlight from no matter what angle, no matter what time of day it was. The ring, if Earth had rings, they would be, you know, like Saturn's. They would be lit up the entire time because of the sun, you know. And they brought up how, like, in that scenario, the moon just kind of disappears in terms of, like, a feature, in terms of being a feature of the night sky, because fucking, like, you're done, like, it is being wildly outshone, in the literal sense, outshone by Earth's new rings. Okay. So that just had me thinking, it's like, okay, so as much as every kid who ever learned about space wished that Earth had rings like Saturn, it's kind of like, do you want moons? Do you want Earth to have a moon/moons? Or do you want it to have rings? Because, like, even though, yes, technically it can have both, because, I mean, like, Saturn has both, the reality is, like, there's only so much, like, light real estate, if you will, that can, you know, in the night sky. So, the more shit you try to shove up there for humans to look at, the more likely it's gonna be like, alright, well, you can't see that other thing the other thing you tried adding anymore, so have fun with that. Oh, hey, look, a cave. We might come back here, because we've explored a lot of caves around the base as a tour. So, definitely could take a peek in someone's a bit further afield. make sure we're covering everything. I was thinking about that. We don't, since we have the incomplete portals, we don't need to, and a lava source, easily accessible. We don't need to, get diamonds to dig stuff, right? I don't know why I personally never think of just, like, making basically a nether portal mold and then putting lava in it and cooling it with water buckets. But we totally have the capability of doing that now. To some degree, I feel like if we want to. And there's also the consideration of the fact that, like, I'd still like diamond shit, you know? I'd like the ability to mine obsidian for things like like enchanting tables and what have you. Regardless of if we need it to make a nether portal to do like the quote-unquote necessary stuff in the game. Question. Also, like, get rid of that. Hey, so, like, I'm gonna ask something. Don't, like, judge me. How do you make villagers mate? You can do that, right? Like, that's a thing people do when they're doing, like, messed up stuff and trying to get, like, certain enchantments and what have you, right? So with, like, that in mind, how do you do... Like, I could Google it. I think you can. Like... Because I was talking the first time... I was talking a while ago about worrying about, like, the whole fucking village emptying out. Because they all got killed off because villagers don't have basic survival instincts for the most part. And, like, they just suffered a massive attack, partly because of me. So, could I not give them plenty of food and plenty of beds? I can start working on that. I gotta get that. I gotta let that one guy out of the pen though, because they keep getting stuck in their own animal pens. This is what I'm talking about. This is literally what I'm talking about. I'm gonna make villagers breed KL. I'm trying to keep my Minecraft world alive and thriving, Sabs. I could have done it. You could have been making fun of me. I appreciate your help, but don't act like I made you. I am going to make them have sex, but the villagers, that is. As far as I know, because I was about to be like, could you imagine if there are like living creatures so bad at living that you had to like physically force them to have sex? I think that's pandas and koala bears. I hate to be the one to tell chat this. I'm pretty sure that's pandas and koala bears. Because first off, koala bears, horrifying. First off, they're not even bears, I don't think. And we should change their name specifically because they're horrifying. But what's more, they're so dumb. Koala bears are so dumb. Like, that is what makes them horrifying. Is that koala bears are so dumb. They raise the question of what qualifies as alive. I feel like more than any other thing on it, more than like mushrooms, which no one knows what the fuck is about. More than fucking more than like microbacteria and things that are so tiny they basically live in another world. None of that raises the question of what classifies as alive more than koala bears, which are so wildly stupid. It makes you wonder if they have a brain at all. And then pandas, from what I understand, are just lazy. They just don't feel like it. Like, whether or not humans are fucking up their environments, pandas just end up being like... Pandas are just not having sex fast enough to replenish the panda numbers. So Minecraft villagers are real. Is what I'm saying, basically. Because there's like a number of things you have to make have sex. That's so wild. Like, humanity being so bad at just like most things that we have endangered multiple species existence by us existing. That's wild enough, right? You know? But the fact that we then have also opted to go out of our way to find the species that are just so suboptimal at surviving, then like, we're gonna make you we're gonna make you guys live whether you like it or not. It is an interesting task we have taken up upon ourselves. Maybe humanity just has like a complex in general. And it's just like, nothing lives or dies unless I command it. Don't you even think about disappearing from this earth. Unless humans are the ones making it happen. I should probably include more safety railings on the fires, but that would look ugly, so no. That's also how they made the Titanic, you know, and famously that was a success, so. It would look ugly, so we'll just leave them off, and then, you know, cut to like a week later. Lord. Let me ask you something, chat. And let's all sit here for a minute. Let's have a real conversation, alright? Is Titanic autism the worst kind of autism? Now, I know what you're thinking, Cahill, that sounds mean. Here's the thing. This might shock you. I have Titanic autism. I've gotten real into the Titanic before. So I am speaking from experience. And what I'm asking is, like, I like pirates in general, right? I can't tell you too much about, like, different historical pirate ships or how to sail, you know, or how to sail them. What I can tell you about is the Titanic. And, like, it's been a while, so I'm a little rusty. But I'm bringing it up because, like, there was a time I was consuming all Titanic media. And I know I'm not the only autistic kid to do that. And it doesn't give you, like, a general knowledge of ships or shipping disasters. It's just the one really shitty ocean liner they made, like, 100 years ago. I feel like the only other candidate is Sonic the Hedgehog, and I only bring that up. I only say that because, once again, I like Sonic the Hedgehog. But clearly Sega doesn't. And, like, even without the fans getting weird about him, Sonic's been to some weird places. So, but even then, even if you make that argument of, like, well, at least, you know, the Titanic gives you a kind of general history knowledge. I'd still argue that knowing a lot about Sonic the Hedgehog gives you a wider array of knowledge. And no one wants to hear about it. Like, no one in, like, a personal or professional setting wants to talk about that. But it's still more knowledge. So, hyperfixations are weird and funny. I literally saw a piece of comic advice earlier today that I've been following since I started making my own comic, which is like, it was like, hey, make a comic specifically for yourself that you're really into, because it's a long ass thing to like do and undertake. And if you get bored doing it, that's that's it. Not much more to do after that. So. Also, let me smelt some more. What's it called? Some more cobblestone. Because here's the thing, right? I'm gonna do 2 wings right here. I don't know, that's off center, whatever. That lead to farming and mining sections specifically. So, like, I don't need that much cobblestone. I already have a good amount. Not cobblestone, bricks. But I also thought, wouldn't it be cool if we were able to make like a whole tower off the side of the mountain leading up to that one to ruin nether portal, which will hopefully give us better luck than the last one. I'm trying to think, how many times have I died on this Minecraft save? I'd probably have to say like around 10. 10 feels right, counting the ones on this stream. There's only been like 1 or 2 on stream itself. You know, I try not to get too tilted in general, but I mean, some of y'all gotta admit, some of this stuff has been wild. Some of this stuff has been Nick Wild from Zootopia. Weird. I don't know if Zootopia 2 is out or not yet. I don't care. I've like me saying to you guys on the internet, I've like smudged out the Disney section of my heart means nothing, right? To you guys. That is like saying that I don't feel stuff about that anymore would be tremendous to a past Cahill to such a magnitude that it's hard to imagine. But yeah, they're too far gone. They're not the man I fell in love with. Like, old Disney would still do shitty things, but at least they made like good stuff from it, you know? Now they're doing shittier things. Arguably, I don't know. Lord, weighing like past Disney crimes versus current Disney, that'd be nightmarish. Anyway, but yeah, now they're doing things as shitty, if not worse. Except the stuff they make isn't good. So it's not even like a weird thing about what it takes to make good art. Or, you know, have a business that does that. It's just bad. Also, I was thinking about this earlier today, which is one reason I bring it up. Because, like, you know, they're making Zootopia 2 is the next sequel coming out. I was thinking about it. Genuinely, I haven't seen Frozen 2. There wasn't a need for a Frozen 2. And you can say that about a lot of sequels, but one, I haven't heard anything about Frozen 2. Which should tell you all you need to know, considering how big the first one was. And two, like, I feel like one of Frozen's strengths, whether or not you like the film, was that it was a self-contained story. You know? It wasn't doing too much. We're in fucking Magic Norway. This girl right here, she was born with Magic Norway powers. And the trolls that live in Magic Norway, they know how to work them. But the fucking girl's family, they're pretty bad at that. That caused some problems, and now we're gonna do a story about it. You know, that was it. I don't need the lore. In fact, I'm wildly uninterested in a movie about the lore. If I was like, if Disney came to my house and was like, Cahill, we have ruined you. You will never work anywhere again unless you come with us and make some kind of follow-up for Frozen. And be like, oh, fine. I'd make a TV show. There's a lot of good TV shows based off Disney movies. Like, even in, like, the Disney Renaissance with Aladdin and shit. A lot of those are fun and cool and great. And I would just have it be like a TV show where, like, we're doing kingdom stuff now that, you know, we're not all dying from frostbite. And my sister is working through her trauma. And it would just be like that. And part of that would be learning about magic. Since, you know, like I said, their parents failed to do anything. So, that's wild. This world generation is insane. There's so many floating bits in the air. And then there's also this, like, just column shooting out the ground here. It's not a perfect column, I guess, but it's still like a decent chunk of land, which is just out there. Y'all see a mansion from here? I know for a fact woodland mansions are, like, exist in the world of Minecraft, right? I've heard so much about them. I've never found one. Oh, hello? You know, I don't know when we'd be back up this way again. Might as well see what's going on down here. Might not even be that big of a cave, but we'll get some flint from it, which is I've been saying I need. Anyway, yeah. Honestly, I feel like part of the lesson is just like, you can have a follow-up to a big, like, movie that was very successful, you know? But it doesn't always necessarily have to be, like, a sequel. Like a cinematic sequel, essentially trying to capture the same exact thing. I think that's part of it. I think that's part of the problem. Because I'll tell you one thing. I can easily quantify whether or not the project was successful, and it wasn't. Oh my goodness. I gotta be careful here. In part, because I'm so far from home. Oh, Lord. I don't know if fighting in an... Well, fighting in an open space is better given the fact that there's a creeper right here. There we go. I got rid of him and cleared some stuff up. Can there be nothing down here now? That would be a great help. I'm trying to just figure it. It's a big ass cave. It's really scary. Listen, not to be a Bill baby, but you gotta admit it's a scary ass cave in here. It's like pretty spooky. I do not know how deep I want to go in this. Because fucking... we are decently far from home. Spider-Man. If I die, that'll be very not good. Mine out some coal. Take it for our troubles. You know, one thing that I feel like makes Minecraft good to stream for me specifically is just that, like, so like when I'm doing art and I finish a piece of a drawing and I see how long stream's been going, I think to myself, like, I don't really want to make stream go... I don't really want to, like, start a whole other part of this right now. Because that's going to take a while before we're at another dropping off point. You know? So then I end stream. In Minecraft, it's like... we could be at that mark or even past it. But I'm not going to end stream until we're back at the base, you know? And that sucks. I think we're gonna go back to the base pretty soon, because this, all in all, I'd consider this cave horrifying. There's something about it that brings about an ill omen. The long dark of Moria. I think I was talking about showing Days of Lord of the Rings a good bit last week. I don't know if I said verbatim what they texted me after we were both home, like, the next day. But verbatim, they were like, I can't believe they did Gandalf like that. This is a very nerdy thing to say, and I'm proud of them. Man, I found this mix to play during streams, which is all Sonic Adventure music, with a bit of a VHS tape filter over it, right? And it just kind of makes me want to play Sonic Adventure, because I played a bit of it, and I could play some more. And also, while I would probably go back and watch the Game Grumps playthrough again, because it is pretty funny, I do think I can agree they are being decently harsh on the game, you know? Not without, like, warrant, but, like, the way they talk about it, from what I remember, they're like, there are no redeeming qualities. And I've, like, picked up, like, the GameCube version itself, and, you know, and I've been like, oh, this is pretty fun to play, actually. So I only bring that up because, like, look, I only bring that up of course my family's texting me. Yeah, I only bring that up in part because as I think about it and be like, man, I want to play that again, it's hard not to think back to, like, literally the first episode where they break the game a bit and Aaron goes, people defend this game. Also, not to be like Sonic has a... I was talking about Sonic autism before, and now I'm doing this. I'd apologize, but it's fucking, you should have known. Anyway. This is the other thing, I got game autism from them. But game autism is better, because, like, it's nerdy, but it's a more interesting history, and has more, like, fun little tidbits. been calling work and friends. Oh goodness. What was I talking? All right, give me 1 second. No, I'm not gonna text that because I want to talk to Stream. But yeah, not to be like Sonic had a rough transition to the 3D because one, I wouldn't even consider the adventure games all that bad. It's more of like they haven't aged all too good, but that doesn't mean they were like upon release they damned Sonic to hell forever. uh, it's just next to Mario 64, like literally Sonic's direct rival at the same time in the same like fucking fashion. Mario 64 has aged like a fine wine. I think I've talked a lot about how like that was unironically a childhood game for Sonic Adventure. You mean, Trom? Because yeah, I can agree with that, especially with all the modes that aren't Sonic. But yeah, but like I was a kid growing up in fucking 2005, and they re-released Mario 64 for the DS. And I was like, this is the best game I've ever... I am 5 and I played like 3 games maybe, but this is the best one. And to some degree, I still feel that way. So when you put that a game like that next to, you know, one that doesn't have the most polish on it, you're not gonna do too great. This is the second time I've been out at night, and like it's taken forever. But yeah. I've been going on recently a lot about kind of details when it comes to making retro-looking stuff, and like I definitely feel like a part of that is tied to things like the Nintendo 64, and also I don't give a shit about like tech upgrades in the modern day, because when back in the day, the NES was an 8-bit console. Each of its little tiles could only have 8-bit resolution, so you know, theoretically you could try and put a 3D image on through that. But one, it'd probably take up most of the storage on the carts they were using. And two, it wouldn't come across right. It would be a very, very just like zoomed in, blurry 3D image, right? So you got the grid thing going, and it's all chunky. And then next console, SNES, 16-bit. It literally doubled. It doubled, and they were now able to fit twice as much detail into the same space. N64, that's literally called the N64 because it's a 64-bit console. That is 4 times the resolution of the last console, 8 times the original. The games are getting exponentially more impressive on a graphical level and what have you, right? Nowadays, like, it goes up by the thousands, but you are already dealing with multiple thousands in terms of like polygon and bit count and resolution to begin with. So it is nowhere near as... You're not making the jump from 2D to 3D again. You're just adding more fidelity to something that already looked very smooth to begin with. Oh fuck, that's bad. I'm gonna approach you to try and kill you. Don't let there be a creeper here. Okay, back off. Back off before there is a creeper. Yeah, that's a very fun thing to think about when it comes to game history, is just how quickly the technology was evolving and changing in at that time, and what that meant for what they could do versus what their limitations were, which was always changing. Um, and it's also why I'm really over like hyper realistic games. I did used to be like, why do we need like 100 FPS? Does the human eye even like bother with that? And the answer to that was yes. The human eye is perfectly capable of distinguishing like up to like, I don't know, a ridiculous number of frames per second. You can go very high when it comes to frames, and the eyeball will just keep being like, yep, that's smoother. Yep, that's smooth. Like, you know, it'll keep recognizing that there has been an increase. That's not the case with like fidelity and shit like that. In part because like hyper realism just like it doesn't get like the more little details you add to hyper realism, the less people give a shit. Exactly. The point I'm making here, Trom, is that like when it comes to like polygon count and stuff on that end, I would argue we reached the reasonable limit to that a while ago. You know, maybe you could push it a bit further, make everything look a bit better, a bit more realistic, etc., right? In terms of like resolution, polygon count, all that kind of stuff. But like that's the stuff people keep trying to push specifically, is more polygons, more more fucking higher resolution. And they that needs to be done, because that's like, just do more frames. If you could just get something running at a faster and faster fucking frames per second. That didn't make grammatical sense, but I'm just thinking out my ass here. Chances are that would look better to people and be more appealing than more polygons on Leon Kennedy's butt cheeks. We all love Leon's butt. Everyone does. It's understandable. But it looked that good on like the first PS4. That was over a decade ago at this point. I don't need to be, you know, to be melting my setup just so you can slap some more polygons on his ass. Look at that, we got a full map. We didn't die exploring this time. Just to like the literal invading army we had to fight off. Which was, you know, I'm sure a good time was had by all. But yeah, so I mean, fucking, I'm playing Minecraft right now. You see that? I don't fucking. This is as good as the game looks. You can add mods to make it look different, but like base game Minecraft, this is how it looks. I'd be more happy knowing that it's running as smooth as possible, both in the sense of frames and also in the sense of like behind the scenes how my computer's doing, than having this grass have more bits to it. So I know this conversation is kind of had to death, but first off, clearly certain dev teams aren't getting the message. And what's more, I feel like some, like, especially like younger people who play games and stuff, they don't think about that, you know, especially because they have now been born after we hit the limit, you know. And some people, they'll make some people feel real old, but like, it's fucking, it's 2026 at this point. Like, I've said so many times, I'm so beyond people being like, oh, that makes me feel there was a global pandemic and the world shut down for 3 years. We can't keep doing this. But yeah, kids nowadays have been born past the point where like graphics kind of peaked in a lot of ways. So to some degree, they need to hear like, hey, you don't, bigger number isn't better. If you've been thinking that in your little kid mind, you know, the little kid mind where, like, you try not to trust it because adults are always telling you wrong. But if you've been thinking that in there, that's correct. Bigger number isn't better. So, in some sense, I'm reiterating for people like that, who those kinds of marketing techniques kind of work on. Not even because they're dumb, but because they hear, you know, when someone's like, we've improved the game by doing this, and they see a bigger number, they're like, yeah, that's right. That's how that works, right? It's like, oh, my sweet summer child. Literally, my sweet summer child. You were born in this summer. This summer. It isn't how it is. And again, it's not their fault. You know, maybe it's because I grew up watching Kids Next Door. I never like when people treat kids as, like, actually dumb. Or just, like, fucking... I don't know how it's... I think it's a large, like, a lot of people have the experience of, like, you just kind of go through life and somewhat, you know, and don't really bother with the critical thinking part. Again, not because you're dumb. Not because you're a kid who does... Literally because you're a kid who doesn't know any better, right? Your parents tell you fucking everything. So you just don't bother, like... Chances are if you have a thought, you run it by them. And that's just how life is for a while. But then your parents give you an iPad. You see fucking Geoff Keighley being like, this game is better now, because we added stuff to it. We added numbers. You're like, I guess he's right. My parents aren't here to disagree. So I'll trust Jeff. It's like, don't trust. No. No, sweet baby. No, little German boy. Don't watch the Game Awards. Oh my god! This place is full of advertising! I could only Germanize. I don't think that's it. I could only make the word advertising so German. So extra German. But yeah. Yeah, I'm not into people, like, belittling kids. Just because, especially with the way the world is, their parent, like, you know, they literally haven't had an experience and do not know any better. They just need, they need to see a thing minimum one. They need to know a thing exists minimum one time. That was the story. That's the story of, like, me today to some degree, as well as especially when I was a kid. Is like, I didn't know about things unless my parents brought it to my attention. So I think it's a little messed up, because to some degree we're all born like that. It's just how fast your fucking parents decide to throw you into the fire. So there are embers. I'm not too worried about the carpet catching on fire. Not because I don't think not because I think it's not going to happen, but because, like, the rest of the building is made of stone, right? It's just one of those things where fucking, like, what's it called? I think I need another locator map. I'm pretty sure that's it. I forget how to make. I've made several copies at this point. I forget. What was I just saying? Yeah. Don't talk down to kids. We're all learning. The real problem are people who should definitely know better and are for whatever reason, acting a certain way. So, well, that's a whole different conversation on several levels. It's like a 50-year-old man walks up to me and is like, "Yeah, we're all just, we're all just getting used to the way things work," and I'm like, hold on a minute. Look at that. Got a bunch of water down there. We can finally see that. Very nice. This ocean. This fucking... Y'all see this? The forest area here, specifically with a pillager thing in the middle there. That's wild. That's wild and cool looking. Makes me happy we are making a map. Get a real good bird's eye view on stuff. Up, 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 up. Oh, but yeah, I think we're gonna call it here, if that sounds okay to everyone. I appreciate everyone stopping by. I saw a good few people lurking, which is always very encouraging. We've had that conversation plenty of times before of like, numbers aren't the most important, but also, I prefer not zero. Not zero is very nice. So, I'm thinking we're going to raid Funny Man Lithero. Lithero put like a lot of work. If y'all don't know about Lithero, he's got some good videos that not only does he put a lot of work into, but also fucking, like, he hires entire teams of animators for. And he just came back from somewhat of a hiatus with a Marvel Rivals video, and he's playing Rivals now. So, I think we're gonna do that. And yeah, I will see everyone later. We'll be back with some Minecraft tomorrow. Hopefully, as much as I think the dying while during the raid was embarrassing, more people are probably going to be upset I dunked a Totem of Undying into lava. Probably not going to be thrilled with me over that, but listen, things happen. I'm sorry. I was just trying to get rid of the villagers. I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow for more Minecraft. I hope you have a good one. Have a good week. Stay warm out there. Bye.